Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rex here with Carpentry Plus. Today we're going to tackle this butcher block desktop. So this is a T-shaped top with a big peninsula coming down the middle and then two sides creating the wings, I guess you'd say. And so we're going to join these together. When I've built these in the past, I've always just built or cut and prepared three separate sections, and we installed those, and there was a seam, and it was all fine. But hopefully I don't regret this, but I am going to attempt to build this all in one piece, so when we install it, it's more of a seamless feel for the user. So our first step here will be cutting our pieces down to size, and then we'll start staging them over on some sawhorses over here and start assembling. All right, so you can see here we've got our three pieces cut to our rough size. By rough size, I just mean these wings are a little bit long. We'll trim those on site. We'll do a template and make those fit nice and tight to the wall. So everything's fit in their general formation here. Next step is I'm gonna shim our setup here to get everything nice and flat, at which point I'll evaluate these cuts, these initial cuts, to determine if they're good enough to work with or if we want to fine tune those cuts a little bit. All right, so we've got everything shimmed. It's looking pretty good. This seam over here looks pretty good. This seam over here really isn't bad, but it's touching in the front and the back, and there's a slight gap in the middle. I think it's a little more than we can fill with glue when we do the glue up. Also, when I sight down this back edge, it looks like this piece needs to shift around that way just a hair. So I'm gonna take this right over here and try to clean this up with the track saw. So basically I'm gonna take about a 1/16 from one end down to nothing, and we'll cut that real quick and see if it's better. All right, so with everything laid out, leveled up, fine-tuned on our cuts here, we're ready to start laying out for our joinery. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape off my seams so that I can make marks, and I'll leave that tape on for the glue up to catch our squeeze out. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna actually biscuit these tops together. So I'll space those biscuits out about like so. I'll zoom up here in a minute. And I'm actually gonna do two, there'll be double biscuits. So we'll do one, 3/8 of an inch down. The other biscuit will be 3/8 from the bottom. And then we're gonna use these countertop connectors, countersunk into the bottom. In between the biscuits, and those will act as clamps to clamp this whole thing together. So with the biscuits and glue and these clamps, I'm hopeful that this is a good solid connection and we'll be able to handle this thing without these seams popping apart on us. All right, here's a quick look at the approximate spacing we'll be doing with our biscuits and our connectors. As mentioned, we'll get our seams taped off so that we can make our marks and control our glue squeeze out. Then we'll measure and mark for our biscuit joinery and the countertop connectors. Once we're done marking out for the joinery, we'll pull our pieces apart, get our biscuit joinery ready to go, start cutting our biscuit slots. We'll cut all the slots at one depth, and then we'll adjust the depth of the biscuit joiner and cut the second set of biscuit slots. All right, there you can get a look at the double biscuits on that side there. Some more on the other side there. So now we'll transfer our marks over to the bottom of the countertops, flip the countertops. We're ready to start cutting for those countertop connectors. We'll do that with a Forstner bit to bore all the holes, 3/4 of an inch deep, 1 3/8 diameter. And we'll use an oscillating saw and a chisel to clean out the slot in between each bored hole. All right, I wanted to pause here for a second, show you guys these connectors. I've never used these before, so I'm hoping they work out. I think they will. So instead of having to get up here with a little wrench on either end, which could be awkward, doing a 1/16 of a turn each time, these have an Allen key that you put in here, and that'll tighten it up. So we'll have our biscuits in there, 4 pairs of double biscuits, along with 3 of these connectors, a bunch of glue, and that should hold together pretty well. So one thing, I'm going to do the best I can to capture some of this glue up on film, but I am working by myself here, so an overview time lapse may be all we get. So I'm getting ready to flip these back over and get them all lined up again and get ready for the glue up. All right, these 3 pieces are glued, biscuited, clamped together. We're gonna let them sit till tomorrow, peel the tape, maybe do a light strength test and start sanding. All right, here's a look from the underside of one of the joints here. All right, so it's the next morning. We got our tape pulled off. Seems to look pretty good. Our desktop here is pretty flat. I'm gonna do a little bit of a test here. I think our joints are pretty strong. I'm definitely gonna add something here. So what I can see happening is that as I lift that, this side's not lifting. This middle section's bowing real bad. So we're gonna have to add something here. All right, so what I've decided to do to strengthen this assembly here is to add, I've got a 10.5 inch wide poplar board, it's 10 foot long. Doesn't quite go the full length, but it will get us into that end cabinet. So from a visual, if you look underneath the desk, you'll just see the one long board going across, and we'll screw that all the way down through there. And I think that'll do the trick. Start by measuring and marking, getting our screws laid out. Next, we'll get our board positioned underneath the countertop, and we'll start pre-drilling and driving our screws. Okay, well that was fun, but it's over with. Got the support added, it's all screwed up securely. And I think we're gonna be good to go. Sit down here and give it a little test. And we can lift up, and get that other end to lift up too. A little bit of flex still in the middle, but I think it's that board we added is more than strong enough to keep this thing from failing anywhere, whether it's our joints or the cross grain section of that center section. So I think we're good to go. Next step is we'll ease these edges and then final sanding, and this thing will be ready for finish. All right, and to ease the edges on this top, we're going to use an 1/8 inch round over bit, so it's pretty subtle. All right, so with the support added to the bottom, the edges eased with a router, I'm going to call fabrication on this large desktop complete. Just to note our overall dimensions here, we've got 12'8". That's the actual room size, so the top is 12 foot. I think it's 12'11", so we got an extra 1.5 inches on each end to trim off when we go to install. And we're 74, I think it's 38 by 74 deep. So once again, hopefully you found something useful here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.